What's going on, family? This is Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series, July 10th, 1951, London, England. Sugar Ray Robinson, middleweight champion of the world, would take on British middleweight champion Randy Turpin. Randy Turpin was born June 7th, 1928, Robinson May 3rd, 1921. It would be an upset in the making because Ray Robinson was a 3-1 favorite to defeat the British middleweight champion. Ray Robinson would become middleweight champion in 1951, February 14th. And they called it the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, when he would knock out the Raging Bull in 13 rounds, Jake LaMotta. Randy Turpin would become the British middleweight champion when he defeated Luke Van Dam. Marcel Cerdan would move up and face Tony Zale and win the middleweight championship of the world. So Randy Turpin and Sugar Ray Robinson would meet. And like I said, it would become an upset in the making. Because Randy Turpin was one of 5 brothers. He had a grandfather that was a bare-knuckle fighter. And he taught him little tricks of the trade that would offset Sugar Ray Robinson. And Ray Robinson left his legs in England because he was partying all night. He had a 13-man entourage and a midget. And he just didn't take Randy Turpin seriously. So after 15 rounds, Randy Turpin would move from side to side, and he had one of the best defenses at that time, and Ray Robinson didn't have the legs to keep up, and he would lose his middleweight championship strap. Now on September 12, 1951, with 61,000 in the crowd, these two men would face each other at the Polo Grounds in New York. And this fight would be different. On round number 7, Robinson would circle Randy Turpin, and he would do what is called a seesaw jab. He would jab to the body and jab to the head, and he would circle to the side. He would move to the left and he would move to the right. He would take a half step back and he would drop a straight right hand, and he would do the same thing all over again. He would seesaw the jab. And Randy Turpin also had a master defense, but he just couldn't keep up with this new style that he's never seen before. Ray Robinson would throw awesome combinations and turn his man. He would throw awesome combinations and consistently turn his man. And that was the problem that Randy Turpin would face. Randy Turpin had a beautiful jab, and Ray Robinson just couldn't keep up with the timing of Randy Turpin's jab. Now, Ray Robinson, in the 10th round, would go for a beautiful right hand to the body, and he would collide heads with Randy Turpin. He would suffer a nasty cut, and he was in desperado mode because Ruby Goldstein, who was the referee at that particular time, would always threaten in between rounds that he was going to stop the fight if they couldn't stop the bleeding. So in that 10th round, Ray Robinson would open up and throw awesome combinations, 5 to 10 punch combinations. He eventually dropped Randy Turpin. Randy Turpin would be up at the count of 9. And immediately Ray Robinson would take Randy Turpin to the ropes. And he would hit a massive combination. He was to miss a few, but he would land a great deal of them. And referee Ruby Goldstein would stop the fight. And the crowd would go wild because the brand new middleweight champion of the world, who represented Harlem, would get his title back. This was some night in the middleweight championship bout that took place September 12th, 1951, in a crowd of 61,000. Ray Robinson, one of the greatest fighters in the entire history of the game. Outstanding combinations. The ability to take a punch. The ability to punch himself. Get out of harm's way. Had a heart of a lion. One of the greatest triple left hook fighters that I've ever seen. Randy Turpin, British middleweight champion, came to fight. He was just out hustled by the greatest fighter who put on a pair of gloves. Here you have Ruby Goldstein and Ray Robinson. Randy Turpin is ready to go because Ray Robinson just put a 10-piece combination, body and head, and Ruby Goldstein sees no more and shoves Ray Robinson to a neutral corner. This was a fascinating fight. Here you have Randy Turpin being celebrated off of his first victory with Ray Robinson. And I'm just going through a Ray Robinson scrapbook here. This book is over 1,000 pages of just Sugar Ray Robinson. His fascinating career. And as you can see here, Ray Robinson and Randy Turpin. Turpin gives Ray Robinson a slice of cake. Part of their promotion for the fight build-up. And here's a cut that I referred to earlier that Ray Robinson would suffer when he dipped down to his right so that he can throw a body shot to Randy Turpin. And their heads collided, and Ray Robinson suffered the worst end of it. Ray Robinson and Randy Turpin will remain friends for many years after this terrific fight. As a matter of fact, 1965, when Ray Robinson retired, they threw a party for him at Madison Square Garden. And all men who fought Robinson, but Jake LaMotta, showed up to that affair. Jake LaMotta couldn't make it because he was under investigation for a bout that he threw with Tiger Fox. But Randy Turpin made it all the way from England and was part of the four fighters: Bobo Olsen, Carmen Basilio, and Gene Foreman showed up that night at Madison Square Garden to show their respects to the greatest fighter of all time, Sugar Ray Robinson. So thanks for hanging in there with me. I just wanted to reminisce that fight. It was an outstanding fight between two great fighters. Randy Turpin, British middleweight champion of the world and world middleweight champion, and the greatest fighter, pound for pound, in the history of the game, Sugar Ray Robinson. Thanks for hanging in there with me. This is Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. Salute to my subscribers. Salute to these great fighters. Salute to that outstanding night of boxing.